right, everybody. I literally just finished a conversation with Brian DeBolt. Now, Brian is the large carnivore conflicts coordinator for Wyoming Game and Fish. And man, we had a great conversation, most of which is going to be featured in my upcoming No BS expert guide to guns as bear defense. However, because Brian has responded to close to 100 bear attacks and other conflicts, he had some great insights, including one of the internet's absolute favorite claims that wind is somehow bear spray's kryptonite. A couple of repeated comments came to mind that I get from my readers and viewers sometimes, so I gotta ask you. I have quite a few people from Wyoming who tell me, well, I live in Wyoming and we have wind, so I don't carry bear spray. You live in Wyoming. Does that track or?
There is no doubt that, wind and rain, whatever, may possibly affect bear spray. It's going to propel far enough. It's powerful enough that the bear's going to get it, even in a strong Wyoming wind. If you get some on you, yeah, it's awful. I've got it on me. It's terrible. It's miserable, but you're gonna. It's better than the alternative. So, of being mauled. So, I just don't buy into the wind argument. It's not as big of a factor as people say it is.
Yeah. I always kind of giggle to myself because I'm like, do you guys realize that like I spend a ton of time outdoors too? And like there's a huge difference between the windward side of a mountain and the leeward side of a mountain. So if I'm out on a ridge line and I can find the leeward side, I'm going to be walking there if I'm in grizzly country because I want that bear spray to be as effective as possible. I'm
It's
not
like
leaving
somebody
it.
saying, I'm a good driver, so I don't need to wear a seatbelt.
Exactly.
Well, that's just an excuse to not wear a seatbelt.
Yep.
It's not valid.
And if you're walking through like dense timber, even a strong wind is pretty blunted by timber.
Right.
So there's no good excuse to not carry bear spray. That's what I tell people. That doesn't mean that a firearm can't be a very effective tool in the right hands, but come on, let's get past
And
this.
we've had multiple, I can think of at least three off the top of my head. I won't relay the whole stories, but where people haven't had a chance to get their spray out or maybe even had it in their hand and the bears bit the bear spray can
Yeah.
and instantly stopped the attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to shoot it a long distance.
Yeah. I've personally spoken with Shane Burke, who was the individual attacked in Grand Teton. Was it last year or the year before?
2 years
It was
ago.
2 years ago now. Yeah. And he's related his story to me. Yeah.
Yep.
And really the most important thing he did was to get that thing in his hand and to go prone. And that's what saved his life. So
Yep.
anyways, I got to follow this. This is the last follow-up question because I get this one all the time and the internet loves this argument. And I know your answer to it, but I gotta ask it anyway. But what would
Yeah.
you say to somebody who says bear spray doesn't work on a mother grizzly?
It absolutely does work on any bear, any mammal with mucous membranes. That's another, interesting. It'll work on a moose, on a mountain lion, other critters that could be aggressive. So, without a doubt, it'll work on a mother grizzly bear.
Okay. With 27 years of experience, have you ever had to spray and or shoot a bear?
Yeah, both. Yeah, the training and the practice is the only thing that saved me.
Hmm.
They happen so fast. And I will say the lethal situations that I've been involved with, we knew ahead of time that's the option. That's what we're going with. Again, the circumstances, we're not trying to save this bear. If we encounter this bear, our option is lethal. And so we've dealt with it that way. I've had to spray a bear once, actually. I've pulled my bear spray multiple times, and the bear has stopped the charge and fled before I even had a chance to respond, luckily. But yeah, I did have to spray a bear once, and it's like he hit a brick wall. Just absolutely stopped, and his head augured into the ground, and he turned around and went the other way as fast as I could even compute what happened. A lot of stuff that we promote, hunting with a partner, bear spray, all the precautions, all those things. There's a misconception out there that all we want to do is save the bear. No, everything the advice that we try to give is ultimately to save the human. There's a secondary effect of saving the bear too in many of those cases, but saving the human is our primary objective. One encounter we dealt with, it was a pair of folks that were hunting. They were actually in a blind, a little makeshift blind over a wallow. And they were sitting together, and the one guy looks up and says, "A bear." And there's a sow and a cub grizzly that had come in. And the other guy, just reflex, stood up. "Where?" And surprised the bear. So here she comes, jumps on top of him in this blind. They had firearms, but he did have bear spray. So he pulls it out, and he couldn't shoot at the bear right on top of it was actually his brother. So he sprayed it with bear spray, and the bear fled instantly. And he said, "Well, I was going to shoot the bear, but it was gone so fast," which he would have been justified in doing that, let's just say. But they were able to walk out and then ride out. He had one bite on his hip. He was, and I hate to use the term slightly injured, because to him, I'm sure it wasn't a slight injury, but they had their firearms. They'd been practicing, and they're like, we should carry bear spray. Let's just carry it. And he turned to me in the hospital bed and said, "That stuff you guys put out saved my life."
The fact of the matter is that the internet is full of all sorts of claims, whether or not it's the earth is flat or Elvis faked his death, or the internet just loves all sorts of nonsense. But there is this idea out there that wind somehow negates the value of bear spray. And I'm sorry, it's absurd. A strong wind can cut the range of your bear spray down to maybe about 5 or 6 feet. And you need to know about that. You need to be aware of what the wind is doing and how that might affect your spray. But this idea that because there's wind, bear spray is somehow useless, come on, guys. It's nonsense. So if you ever find somebody who claims that because there's wind, bear spray is a dumb idea, then I hope you send them a thank you. And I hope you thank them for demonstrating that they are the absolute worst person to listen to, because they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. These tools are not magic wands, okay? You must understand the tool, its proper function, and how and when to use it. And wind is part of the equation. Even if you're shooting a gun, for you hunters out there, if there's a strong wind, you need to be aware of that if you're taking a longer shot, okay? That is simply a matter of understanding your tool. If you're serious about wanting to stay safe, no intelligent person is going to leave the bear spray in their car or at home, or no intelligent person is going to argue not to take bear spray. And I'm telling you, people are working really hard. The internet's ignoramuses are working overtime to convince you of their flat earth nonsense. And they're going to effectively bring up 3 cases. 1, Todd Orr. I've spoken to Todd. I know Todd. Okay, I've discussed his attack in detail. And anybody who claims that Todd Orr's experience is an argument not to carry bear spray is ignorant, okay? Case number 2 is going to be the double fatal attack in Banff National Park in 2003. That it was a serious attack. I have covered it in detail. And I am not here to tell you that bear spray is always going to be the solution. But I am going to tell you that it is stupid not to take bear spray. We're having a whole conversation about firearms. They have a legitimate role to play in a defensive toolkit in bear country and elsewhere. You have to simply understand your tool, their limits, and their values. And the third case that people are going to mention on the internet and around the campfire, whatever, is going to be the case of Mark Upton. Now, Mark's story is just one of those heart-wrenching stories. So many things went wrong that day. And the things that went wrong, they included bear spray and they included firearms. But neither of those tools were responsible for the failures. The individuals involved in that attack were simply caught off guard. They were not prepared. And in the chaos of the moment, they just couldn't deploy their defenses in time. So addressing that claim is effectively the purpose of today's video. That and addressing its partner claim or its twin claim that bear spray doesn't work on mother grizzlies. Somebody's going to say it in the comments. I know it, but it's still wrong. The earth is not flat. Elvis is dead, and bear spray does work on grizzly bears, mother bears included. But it's not a magic wand, and you must understand that tool. Make sure to click subscribe below this video and watch my Cut the Crap guide to bear safety. I want to thank my Wild Spaces team members. If you have a passion for the facts and reliable information, then consider clicking join below this video or join our team over on Patreon. And if a monthly membership is not right for you, then please consider making a one-time donation to At Home in Wild Spaces by clicking thanks below this video. Until next time, this is Mike. Stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.